So you want to make an MMO in Unity, but everyone's telling you not to do it. It's just too hard. But should you listen to them? Are there tools that can help you get the job done? We're going to talk about all that and more in this video, but first, word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Project Search and Replace. With Project Search and Replace, you can search for data inside of prefabs, scenes, components, and more, and replace them all with the click of your mouse. Download it now from the Unity Asset Store using the link in the description. I've always had a pipe dream that I'd create my own MMO, ever since I started playing World of Warcraft in 2004. It's like the coolest type of game to play and to consider making, figuring out how to design quests and player progression and leveling. There's just so much to it. The problem is, very few developers have success creating massive multiplayer online games. They're literally the most complex type of game you can create, for many reasons. Imagine making a game like Witcher. It's a single player game. It has tons of content, progression, quests, skills, even crafting. That game is incredibly complex in itself. Now, imagine adding a multiplayer element. Think of all the technical issues that go with that. That's why MMOs are hard to make. So what are those technical issues? Well, for one thing, you need to consider your infrastructure. Infrastructure is basically where your game will live once it goes live. And there's a lot of things to consider here. Like, first of all, where are you going to host it? Now, potentially you could host it at home on your own personal server, but I definitely wouldn't recommend that. There's security risks and cost of energy that needs to be factored in. So alternatively, you'll need to pick a cloud hosting provider like Google Cloud Platform, it's a good option, or Amazon AWS. Whatever you choose, you need to understand the pricing structure because each service has its own pricing for bandwidth and server space and storage space, and based on your game, you're going to need to understand what that entails. After that, you actually need to design your server architecture. There's a couple of different architectures you could choose, but probably the most popular two are single server architecture and distributed server architecture. Distributed server architecture is basically a whole bunch of servers working together in a cluster to provide a single seamless experience for your game. This is something like World of Warcraft would use. There's thousands of servers all running in tangent to provide each realm as a single unit. The reason why World of Warcraft would use something like that is because they've got millions of players and millions of active players. So when all those people come online, they need to be able to distribute the workload. One server just can't handle it all. Now, if you're thinking of something like PUBG for your game, where 100 players connect to a server, then a single server architecture that's spun up for a game might be a good option for you. Either way, it's something you need to consider. And once you make a decision, that decision will lead to your code base. So you want to start with your server architecture first. Then you can work on your network code, and that is a whole nother layer of complexity. Like I mentioned in the beginning, if you wanted to create a game like Witcher 2, that's going to have its own challenges. But once you add that multiplayer element, you've added a whole new layer of complexity. Most of the complexity of an MMO lives in the network code. You need to handle things like player connections, player disconnections, lag, and probably the biggest problem of all, synchronization. And that's where you come into like an exponential issue with your logic or an exponential growth problem. For example, imagine this game like Witcher. A single player game, you got a player running around the world. Obviously you would have enemies and all sorts of other things. Each of these elements have a position. In a single player game, no big deal. You have the position, Unity handles that, you're good to go. But once you add another player to the mix, you need to synchronize all of those positions across the two clients. So managing that player's position goes from 1 unit of work to n units of work, where n is the number of players connected to your game. And if you're thinking of creating something like World of Warcraft, that n becomes thousands of players. So creating an MMO is hard. We get that, especially from a technical standpoint, where you have to figure out how to set up an infrastructure, you need to figure out how to deploy to a production environment and manage and maintain that. And on top of that, you need to be able to write complicated network code. So should you just give up, throw in the towel? No way. It's 2018. This problem is not new, and there are plenty of bright developers who have been working to solve the challenges associated with creating a massive multiplayer online game. As a result, there are plenty of tools, game engines, and SDKs out there that have been specifically designed to help you create your own MMO. Now, if you're a Unity developer, you can use Unity's very own multiplayer high-level API. It's an API that's built on top of Unity's mono-behavior ecosystem. It handles the synchronization, the player connection logic, and it's got a pretty shallow learning curve if you're already familiar with Unity code. The problem is, it's peer-to-peer, and that means that whenever you have a game, be it 10 people or 100 people, one of those players connected has to be the host. That player is responsible for synchronizing the data across every other player that's connected to the game. That's not going to work for an MMO. Even something like PUBG where you have 100 players connected, it's just too much work, too much of a burden for a single player. So while Unity's high-level API is great for multiplayer games, getting up and running quickly, I just don't think it cuts it for MMOs. So what else do we have? Well, there are a bunch of pretty good tools out there, and I've played with some of them, but there's one in particular that I really like. It's called SpatialOS SDK. SpatialOS is built on the distributed server architecture, and they provide everything from the infrastructure to the network code to even tools like CLI and web applications that help you deploy, develop, and even visualize your game data as it's happening live. And SpatialOS's SDK is built on the entity component system pattern, which, if you've been following Unity ECS, you'll have no problem getting started with. And once your game's ready for production, SpatialOS provides a great backend that's priced very reasonably. It's based off of the bandwidth you use, so you don't have to spend more than you really need to. And once your game gets big, well, that's a good problem to have. You can deal with the costs as they grow. For more information, you should definitely check out their technical breakdown. It's really great at describing exactly what SpatialOS can give you, and it explains how you can use it to create your very own game. So, hope is not lost. If you've got a great idea for a game that only works as an MMO, don't give up. Pursue it. If you don't use SpatialOS, there are plenty of other tools you can explore, like MMORPG, which is available on the Unity Asset Store, or other third-party tools that integrate directly with Unity. And if you know of another tool, feel free to drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it and maybe even cover it on this channel. So that's it for this video. I'm trying something new here where I'm just kind of riffing to the camera, not doing a scripted thing. Everyone said I sounded like a robot, so that's what I'm doing here. If you like this video and this format and style, please leave a like and let me know what you thought in the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're new to this channel and you're interested in more Unity videos just like this, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on. I try to put out a video every single week. Well, with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you to all of my patrons, and a special shout out to Glasswell Entertainment, Ilvian Zed, Richard Stantz, Thomas, Will and Daigo, and Yakov.